What is going on, guys? Matt Downs with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports to help give you the edge for this NBA 7-game slate. Cannot wait to break it down. If you guys are brand new to this channel, we provide both free and paid content for all daily fantasy sports across all sports. If you could please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, and of course smashing that like button for all of our future NBA content. If you would like to know more about becoming a better DFS player and taking down that big GPP, head over to www.patreon.com/dgfantasy for more information. This video is also officially sponsored by Jock Market. On Patreon, we give advanced cheat sheets for all DFS sports on Draftkings. These cheat sheets include updated projections, ownership, and our overall favorite plays from slate to slate. We take it a step further by teaching you how to play fantasy sports like a shark, by showing you where the best leverage spots are to put you in the best spots to take down tourneys. Also included is our private Discord chat where you get to talk over the slate with everyone, including our coaches, to help build your lineups. Now let's go ahead and dive right into this NBA 7-game slate. But first, you guys know we have to go over some Patreon success. I was trying to show this off yesterday in my video. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties, so I'll be showing you guys our weekend success that we had. Crazy success. We had $173 turned into $14,000 on NASCAR, guys. We're not even talking about the main sports here. We're not talking about NBA. We're talking about esports and NASCAR. We've been absolutely crushing it. And yes, we provide content on Patreon for that. And then also some soccer success, $122 into $527. And then we also had $93 turned into $559. This is TJ's screenshot from a couple nights ago. And then a couple more here. We have $1,600 here. $100 got second place and turned that into $962. And then last but not least, we had another close takedown, $100 into $962.50. So congrats to all of our Patreon members. Like I said, Patreon covers all major sports for only $20 a month, and we provide our favorite GPP spots, leverage spots, cash plays for every single slate going forward. And we have a major project in the works right now, so guys, look out for that. Patreon.com/DGFantasy. All right, let's jump right into this NBA slate. We have a good sample size right now and a lot of solidified injury news, so I think this is a decent slate. We have a lot of value here already. Hopefully there's no late injury news, but right now Utah, nobody out for them. With Boston, really nobody impacting them. With Atlanta, we have pending injury news on Capella, so that will definitely impact that picture there. And Atlanta, we also have Dunn, Hunter, and Reddish officially out for them. And then with Houston, what a mess it still is. We have Daniel House and Macklemore questionable. We have to keep an eye on them because Wood, Exum, Gordon, Nwaba, Tucker, and Wall are all out. So if these guys are added to the injury report, yes, there's a lot more value here for the Houston Rockets. Going down the list here, we have Cleveland without Love, Delly, Drummond, and Prince. And then Miami, seems like we have a full roster back, so no more Jimmy Butler, just for GPPs, unfortunately. And then with the Knicks, we have Elfrid Payton and D-Rose still questionable. They were questionable last night, ended up being ruled out, so had a lot of value there. And also Mitchell Robinson officially out. With Philly, we have the big usage monster, Joel Embiid himself, officially out. So yes, there is some value there. We will be visiting that picture here in a little bit. With OKC, we have Dort questionable, Ariza out, Baisley, Hill, and Horford. So there's some decent value there and a pace-up spot versus Chicago. Temple just out for Chicago. New Orleans, just JJ Redick. And then Portland, we have Collins and Nurkic out for them officially. This is a huge over-under right now at a 242, which is absolutely insane. So we're going to be looking at this team here in a little bit. With Minnesota, we have Beasley, Culver, McLaughlin, and Russell officially out. And then the Lakers, we have Caruso added to the injury report with AD, Dudley, and Marc Gasol. So good pace-up spot there for the Lakers. We're going to be honing in on them. Also, LeBron's playing a back-to-back. We don't know if he's officially going to play, but we expect him to, just because there's not too many people left here for the Lakers. So let's switch over to the slate. We're going to be focusing on the cash plays and then switching over to my favorite GPP plays, also giving you guys some SuperDraft and Jock Market content at the very end of this video as well. So let's hone in on the very first chalk team. We're going to be looking at Philly. Our thumbnail is Tony Bradley, and for good reason. He's projected right now at 23 minutes. We don't know who's officially going to start at the center position right now between Bradley and Dwight Howard. They are both projected around the same amount of minutes, just 1 minute more here for Dwight Howard. However, Tony Bradley is only $3,700. If we take a look at the usage sheet, Tony Bradley, if I can find him, 1.11 fantasy points per minute. And yes, that's primarily rebounds. He's a very tall guy. So we're just counting on him to get rebounds, a couple putbacks here and there. And again, at $3,700, really good value here for the Philly 76ers. Going down the list here, we have Tobias Harris, who also gets a nice little usage bump, 1.27 fantasy points per minute. Not that bad of a value, but the only guy I'm really going to be taking in terms of cash is going to be Tony Bradley. Yes, I don't mind Tobias Harris. Ben Simmons, even Shake Milton rates very, very well. I don't mind them for cash fillers, but again, one guy's going to be taking all the ownership from this team, and it's going to be Tony Bradley. Also, Dwight Howard as a GPP option. All right, let's switch over to the OKC team here. OKC Thunder, and if we take a look at the value here, a lot more. So we have 24 projected minutes for Moses Brown, 7'2", 245 pounds, I believe, or something like that. Pretty big fella, $3,500. So there's your two value centers that you can plug and play in the util spot and center spot. I think that's plenty of value and a nice, decent upside just because he averages over a fantasy point per minute and comes out to an 8.3 point per dollar value. So I do like him here. And then next on the list is going to be Alexei at 31 projected minutes, 4.4K. And if you look at his fantasy points per minute, absolutely a great value, 0.8 fantasy points per minute, just a shooter. But again, at 4.4K projected 31 minutes is the second best value here on this team. The rest of these guys are just going to be GPP options. Not thrilled about the rest of the value here on this team. Looking over to Chicago, we have one guy I want to hone in on the other side of the ball here. There we go. And it's going to be Satoransky, still not getting up to that price tag that we expect him to be at. Projected right now at 27 minutes. He played 26 against Toronto last game and dropped 34 points. So definitely love him. He's only 3.6K. Deserves to be about 5 to 6K if he is starting and playing those projected minutes. So I do like him. Yes, it's not going to be a pace-up spot for them. But again, way too much value here. And then also Marketing, not that bad of a price tag. Coming down in price to 6K. I don't mind him for a cash filler, but I'm going to prefer some other options from other teams. Last but not least, I want to talk about the LA Lakers because we know the injuries here with these guys without AD, Marcus Caruso, and Dudley. So taking a look fantasy point per minute wise, there's actually a lot of good plays. Keep in mind, this is a huge pace up spot for the Lakers, so all the price tags really didn't come up too much from the last game. LeBron only at 10.5K. I do like him. I think he's going to be relatively chalky. Yes, we have our hesitations on his ceiling potential just because it is LeBron James and he is getting up there in age and they don't want him to play the full allotted minutes. But just looking up and down this roster, we do expect him to be playing closer to 37 minutes. So I do like him specifically in this contest against Minnesota, assuming it does stay close. Right now, the Lakers only a 9-point favorite. Harrell also not that bad of an option at 6.2K, 29 projected minutes, does get a usage boost. Caldwell Pope, we love shooters and pace of spots. Yes, he's only averaging like 0.4 fantasy points per minute, but that's because we're not used to seeing him in pace of spots here. 29 projected minutes, 3.6K. I also do like him as a cash filler. And then last but not least, THT, 36 minutes or $3,600 projected right now at 19 minutes. Just a cash or GBP filler if you're looking for some additional value. But I do like the Lakers overall, pace of spot, and I think that Dennis Schroeder's also a good GBP option. Now we hear a quick word from our sponsor.
Jock Market is one of the most innovative ways to play daily fantasy sports today. Just like the real stock market, Jock Market allows you to buy and sell players to earn profit based on their performances throughout the day and night. They are currently offering a variety of sports where you can enter their markets and buy them for potential gains. Unlike normal other DFS sites, once the slate starts, you can make numerous changes to your stocks by buying new players you think will continue to perform well or sell players you think are going to underperform.
Right now, they are running every sport with overlay, which gives you an easier chance to win than other major DFS platforms. Download Jock Market now on the App Store and use code DGF to receive a $20 deposit bonus. Be sure to subscribe here for all future Jock Market content. And now let's talk about my favorite GPP options here on this slate. We're going to be honing in on this Pelicans-Blazers game. These guys will carry some ownership just because of the over-under. It actually has come down 2 points since we've been recording this video, but it's still at a 240. The next closest one is actually going to be Utah at Boston at a 227.5. So a team and a matchup that I'm going to be personally honing in on in GPP's. Brandon Ingram, 8.1K is very cheap for him. Projected right now at 35 minutes. Love him for GPP's. Zion's actually come down in price ever since the All-Star break, so don't mind that at 8.7K. I think that's very viable. And again, he's only been playing 31, 18, 32 minutes in these not so close matchups. So we're expecting a very close matchup here versus Portland. Portland's favored by 1 point. So Zion should be out there the full allotted minutes. Lonzo Ball, 6.8K, also not that bad of a price tag. tag. And then one last guy I want to talk about is Steven Adams at 5.5K. Has a great matchup. We've been absolutely killing the center position lately, and he's been killing it too, only playing 20 minutes his past 2 contests. Should be playing closer to 28 to 30 minutes. So love them for GPPs. And then on the other side, yes, it's obvious, Damian Lillard in a fantastic spot. 10.8K is getting very pricey, which means his ownership should be relatively low. People are going to be playing LeBron James over Damian Lillard, and I think he's a great pivot. So I like him there at that price tag. Canner, also not that bad of a price tag, 7.2K. And then Carmelo, we love shooters and pace-up spots. Same thing with Gary Trent. Gary Trent, absolute smash spot last game. He did the exact same thing. So love him. Love the Blazers and Pelicans to exploit in GPPs, assuming that their ownership does stay relatively low. All right, let's take a look at my favorite SuperDraft plays. First of all, if you guys haven't signed up for SuperDraft, it is the easiest way to win in DFS today. I promise you. It's the rake percentage is only about 5 to 10%, where DraftKings is like 12 to 15% on every single contest, which means they take about 12 to 15% of the cash straight up out of the contest before they distribute all the prize pool. So it's literally easier to win on SuperDraft. If you guys haven't signed up, please do so. A ton of overlay over there as well. And I give you guys free picks. These are our projections as of right now. And we also give projections on our Live Before Lock show. And you get a 50% match up to $500 when signing up using the link below. All you need to do is click on it. It takes you right to the download link if you're on your app, and it takes you over to the website if you're on a if you're on the desktop. So looking at our favorite plays here, LeBron James has a multiplier of 1.05 fantasy points, which brings it to a 60.66 projection. He shouldn't have a multiplier regardless. He's the best player in the NBA right now. Trae Young, 1.25 times multiplier, a 59.44 projection. Brandon Ingram, don't understand the multiplier there. This is probably my favorite play here over on SuperDraft. 1.35 times multiplier and a 58.74 fantasy point output. Just absolutely insane in terms of him being undervalued. Damian Lillard, 1.15 times multiplier. That's crazy too. Again, you can play all of these studs here at the top, but that's a great thing about SuperDraft. 57.79 fantasy points. Canner, last but not least, I'll give you him 1.55 times multiplier and a pace-up spot. So love him. He's center eligible. Probably my favorite center by far. And that's it. Those are my top 5 favorite plays. Again, you guys can grab access to all these projections if you guys sign up for Patreon today. And then last but not least, we'll talk about our sponsored video here, Jock Market. Jock Market, there's a crazy misplaced person here. Shake Milton, the last spot here on the sheet, but he does get a fantasy point per minute boost. Projected right now at 27 minutes, averaging 1.06 fantasy points per minute. We have him jumping 26 spots. If you guys buy low, literally low, last guy on the board, 80 spots. He doesn't have to do much. We're expecting him to get to that 54 spot. 26 projected points. Just throw all your stock in Shake Milton. Seriously, you could get away with that. Nerlens Noel at the 58 spot. We're expecting him to jump about 23 spots to 35. And then last but not least, we talked about Steven Adams in a great spot. 61st right now, very undervalued. If you guys want a stud I think is going to rise, I think Tobias Harris at the 20th spot could definitely make the top 10. We haven't projected jump about 10 extra spots here. So Tobias Harris in a great spot as well. And that will wrap up my video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this content. If you did, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course, smash that like button for all of our future NBA content. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day, and let's cash.